It has been quite some time since the NFRN Truck Series last ran, but that wait is finally over. It is time for the return of our third tiered series, and they get to take a trip overseas as they get to see who will win this inaugural NTS race at Twin Ring Motegi, the Japan 200 from here in Motegi, Japan. Hello again, everybody. My name is Colin Denton, excited to join you for this NFRN Truck Series broadcast. Happy to have you along. And yes, it has been quite some time since we last ran. We have a number of drivers trying to debut through the part-time qualifying. We've been to tracks like Pigs Cliff, Mirage, Riki, Green Valley Super Speed Ring, Grand Detour, all in the series up top. But now it's time to get back to Truck Series action, as we've only had 2 races so far in this 8-race regular season, with Barry Watson and Mike Simpson being the winners there. Who's going to be the next one to claim their playoff spot today? We are going to find that out. And this part-time race would be led to the start by Adam Lewis and Richard Morris. Lewis has made both races so far this season. Richard Morris made his first attempt last race and didn't qualify. Tristan Ludet making a move to the inside early. Isaac Nichols then going to follow and make the move inside him. Neither of them are going to make the race, though, on this very pass-heavy racetrack, which you can see makes it 3 wide in turn 2. The truck of Jeff Cabico making the big move to the inside. But it's going to be Eddie Jones that really falters late in this race as Derek Northrup goes to the bottom. The unsponsored truck of Jeff Cabico going to be the one that takes home the checkered flag in this session. And he is going to qualify for his first race. In addition, we'll also see Luke Evans, who's going to make his second race in his second start. Adam Lewis is making all 3 starts, as well as Derek Northrup. And Benjamin Roberts is going to make the race in his debut, along with Cabico. Richard Morris making his first race in his second attempt. And you'll see the rest of the field going by in a pretty first-time heavy race. A lot of guys trying to make their debut here. Not going to be able to do it. They're going home. So that will do it for the part-time race. We have 42 trucks lined up on the grid, and it's time to get the starting command.
And now, for the most famous words in motorsports, please welcome Mike Cote, Bar Harbor Foods President Chief Executive Officer.
Drivers, start your engines!
Well, as the engines roar to life, it's time to take a look at the starting grid after this long break in the NFRN Truck Series. And Adam Lewis, in the 3rd part-time start that he's made every race so far this season, he's going to drive the 05 Chevrolet to the pole and lead the guys to the field. And on his outside recency in that number 69 Supreme Chevrolet, a Chevrolet front row, he had a previous best start of 23rd at Columbia coming in, and now he's got the outside front pole. Row number 2 has Justin Lisenby in the inside, last place at Columbia, trying to regain some ground after that. And Carter Friesen, who grabbed the top 5 at Pikes Peak. In the 3rd row, we see Brian Parsons, Western Motorsports, currently 3rd in the team standings, and Tyler Reed, who's 4th in points and one of 2 drivers with both top 10s this season. Row number 4 has Kevin Knight, who slipped into a top 10 at Columbia, trying to see if he can get another one today, and Andy Quinn, who's had a very rough start to the season, 2nd to last among full-timers in points. Jeff Cabico is going to be the first on row number 5, getting his first start on his first attempt at the racetrack. And Barry Watson is going to round out the top 10, your Columbia winner and current points leader. Row number 6 has Josh McCoy, that other Western Motorsports driver, and Jesse McConnell, who grabbed a top 5 at Columbia. In row number 7, we have Jasper Rouse, who grabbed a top 10 at Pikes Peak, and Essentia, who comes from Japan. This is his hometown racetrack, hoping to put on a show for the fans. He's in place number 14. Taylor the Pig starts off row number 8. He's the top driver in the standings without a top 10 so far this season. Jim Fowler has a best finish of 24th, and he'll start in place 16. Row number 9 has Clint McComb, who has some new colors on the car this week, and Robbie Bell, who finished 21st at Pikes Peak. In row 10, Ross Kispin is just a spot in front of Bell in the point standings, and Emerson Sims, last in point standings among full-timers, he'll round out the top 20. Well, the cars are starting to roll off, and you'll see the rest of the starting order flashing across the screen. We're going to see which of these guys are going to be able to take home the victory at this irregularly shaped track, not necessarily quite a pure oval, as you see Mike Simpson there in 30th starting spot, your Pikes Peak winner. It's a little bit wider of a turn in 1 and 2, and pretty narrow down in 3 and 4, which means you're going to have differing strategies on each side of the racetrack. But hopefully we'll see a lot of passing, as this was a pretty pass-heavy race last season in the Elite Cup Series level. We might see the same here again today. This truck pulls down, and we're going to let these 42 trucks battle it out for 30 laps and see which one comes on top. Could Adam Lewis win one for the part-timers? We'll see. Green flag out, and we're racing at Twin Ring Motegi. Oh, in trouble back here in the field. That's the 86 part-timer of Luke Evans. Adam Kuhn also involved. The 86 goes for a spin, and the caution flag is out. Oh, and more trouble. Taylor the Pig around Jesse McConna. And a big stack up here near the front of the field in the pole sitter. Adam Lewis also going around, a heavy hit into the outside wall. The truck is stalled in the 05. Getting the early pole and is going to have trouble right off the bat. And just absolute mayhem on the front stretches. Trucks are still trying to pull away as James Smith was turned around. So the caution out after lap 1. Justin Lisenby, the current leader. We talked about how he was looking to regain some spots, but man, I don't know how he envisioned that happening, because that was an absolute crazy first lap, which takes out the pole sitter early in this one. Let's take a look at what happened. So this is down the backstretch, and I don't see Luke Evans here, so I think this is a completely separate incident we didn't even see. And that's Benjamin Roberts back here, and I think he's getting a little low. Maybe Benny sights are coming up high, but either way, they make contact. They put Steve Ray in the 21, Billy Thompson in the 46 into the wall, and slam them in the door. Roger Ray and Dalton Wise didn't have great starting spots. They make contact as well, and Roberts back into the outside wall. And that didn't produce a spin, but we do see the smoke up in front, and that's going to be the 86 car. So we'll see what happens here as Keith Young in that unsponsored Chevrolet, they make contact and hit Hunter Cox as well. And there's where Adam Kuhn gets involved as he runs up into the wall with Evans. And he's going to get away with pretty minimal damage. I don't think that's going to affect his race truck as much as the 86 is going to have a little bit of damage on his. Not necessarily running for a championship as a part-timer, but wants to show that he has some skills to be at this level next year. And then the front stretch incident, as that's Jesse McConna and Taylor the Pig that get contact with each other after the caution flag is already flown. They're all like 3 wide coming through here as they really bunched up quickly. We mentioned this is a pass-heavy track, and it definitely showed there. And then James Smith trying to get around the 00, who's already spinning, and puts himself in the wall, and that creates a complete roadblock for all these trucks, some of whom do not know what's happening in front of them and trying to just get around and get spots as they get ready for the restart. But the 24, they're sideways completely and can't get unlatched from all these trucks bunched all together. They're all ramming each other from behind, and oh, Billy Thompson gets some air as his rear wheels picked up off the ground. So they really got bunched up, but so bunched up it's going to put one car airborne. I believe the 46 will get back on all 4 tires. There he goes, right there. And then this, up in front. So Lisenby already got by as well as Parsons, but contact made between the 7 of Kevin Knight and the 05 of Adam Lewis. A little bit of contact there with Jeff Cabico as well as other cars start to spin in the back. Tyler Reed's been running well in the point standings. And the hit there, I got to believe that there's like a safer barrier there that wasn't smooth enough, and he just rammed into it and really took himself out of that. A crazy, crazy incident that's going to involve the pole sitter, and that's going to put Adam Lewis out of the race. This is going to be our first commercial break of the race. One lap in the books under caution after multiple accidents on the front stretch and in turns 3 and 4. We'll be right back with more NFRN Truck Series racing at Twin Ring Motegi.
Congrats, Denny.
Hey, thanks. I need to ship this to Charlotte.
Sure, we can ship that fast and affordably with FedEx Ground. Wow.
Wow.
Drop off your items with the shipping pros at FedEx Office for fast, affordable delivery from FedEx Ground.
We return to NFRN Truck Series racing at Twin Ring Motegi for the third race of the season. And 3 cars dropped out as a result of that accident, or multiple accidents rather. Adam Lewis being one of them. Obviously, Derek Anderline didn't see what happened to him, but probably had enough damage that took him out of the race. And the incident on the backstretch with the 23 of Benjamin Roberts is also going to put him out of the race, and he's going to finish 42nd, last place in his debut run. We're approaching lap number 6, and Justin Lisenby is going to be the one that leads them to the line. And Justin Lisenby would attest to having some experience with the last place run. He got that at Columbia after being wrecked out in a turn 3 accident, but he came back pretty nicely with a 17th place run at Pikes Peak, and he's going to see if he can maybe hold some guys off, but that's quickly going to disappear as Ryan Parsons making his way to the inside. And even just a spot back, you can even see Jeff Cabico. He's going to be the next part-timer up and running pretty well today. That car is unsponsored, but still driving it to the front as we see Josh McCoy making the move to the inside of him. And there are both of the Western Motorsport trucks right there. Riding on board Josh McCoy. And he's going to make his move to the inside of Justin Lisenby, and this could be a 1-2 for Western going into this turn if he can make the pass, and it looks like he will. Mentioned in the starting grid that Western is currently 3rd in the team standings. And there's not a lot of competition in that team standing department, as I believe there's only 7 competing teams for that, 6 of whom are branched off of upper divisions. I think Pig Sensi Racing's the only team that's made up of only Truck Series drivers, and part-timers are not eligible to enlist in teams, but Western Motorsports is a branch of the Amateur Cup Series. Has 4 cars up there. Now, Josh McCoy had a great run going for him at Columbia. Got a 6th place finish, but the same did not come up at Pikes Peak, but now he's looking to see if he can have a good run here today as he pulls into the lead. And someone that would really love to have a great day today is Essentia. The number 14 driver hasn't had a great start to his season, but he is in his home country of Japan. This is a race that really excited him going in, as he's going to have a lot of fans here, family as well. He's doing a decent job right now. He's currently running 10th place. As mentioned, he is 39th in the points right now, and that's just a result of a lot of bad luck and bad runs in these first 2 races, but that's a pretty small sample size to be judging off of so far. We see Kevin Knight is taking the lead, but going to deal with some lap traffic as Derek Northrup and Jason Langley having some issues in these early laps, and obviously the accidents we had on the first lap caused a lot of damage to some race cars. Some heavyweights like Barry Watson and Mike Simpson got caught up in those, and they're running pretty slow as well, but Northrup and Langley are going to be the first ones that get passed up as Lisenby is back to the lead, and Jeff Cavico once again making his move to 2nd place. We could see him competing for the lead at some point, and in fact that might happen right here in turns 3 and 4, which is a great passing zone And the 03 car is going to make the move to the inside and lead a lap. Now, obviously, these part-time truck drivers don't have a lot to compete for, other than just getting some starts and some experience, and that's exactly what they want. I don't think Capico expected to come in here with such blazing speed and leading in his first start in the league, but he's managed to do that, and he's just got to work on keeping those guys at bay, although Josh McCoy looks like he's going to be making a move back to the inside. And now we see Mike Simpson with the hood off the race car, mentioned that he was involved in the accident. He's having a rough start. That car is definitely not going to be as aerodynamic as it was for the Pikes Peak winner. Jim Fowler back there in the 7.2 is also running the same without his hood. We saw Adam Kuhn, who's had a pretty decent start to his season as well. Currently running third in the points, and he got caught up in the accident with Luke Evans, and then subsequently kind of got bunched up in the crowd on the front stretch. Came so close to grabbing the playoff clinching victory at Columbia. But now he's just got to work on his consistency and trying to see if maybe someone like Jeff Capico can bring a part-timer to a win and open up a spot in case he's not able to get the win for himself. And Justin Lisenby once again back up to the point. 31 car is just looking pretty darn fast. It's just a matter of, can he hold it there for the rest of the season and maybe just for this race, just to grab a win to get him a playoff potential. He's obviously going to have to stay in the top 25 in points, but that's definitely achievable in this short schedule, which is going to see a lot of standing turnover as the races go on, and he's going to have to deal with Jeff Capico going back by him, and Recency, who started on second place, the outside pole, he's going to make the move to the inside of the 31. Recency has been in a pretty bad position this entire 2 races as well. His teammate Taylor the Pig has done pretty decent, has been able to compete to try to get into some Amateur Cup Series races, although I don't think he's been successful in that attempt so far. 25 should realistically be running a little bit better, but the 69 is showing his speed, and he led both of the practices at this track this weekend, and that's showing right now. So it's not surprising that we see the 69 up here trying to compete for the victory. And Essentia has been climbing up a little silently, as he's up to 5th place now. He was, he was in 10th when we looked at him a couple of laps ago, and he's just picking these guys off one by one. So I think he has a little bit of experience here. If nothing else, he's just getting the emotion of being back home and trying to see if he can win one for the hometown fans. Only Japanese driver in the league right now. That would just be a great storyline, as it's hard to see drivers win in their hometown states or countries. But this is definitely something that could happen, as he goes 3 wide on Jasper Rouse and Recency, who's on the high outside, and pulls into 3rd place. Here's Tyler Reed, and he was involved in the accident with Adam Lewis. He was 4th coming in here, and he's currently 14th, so he's not doing too bad. He's one of 2 drivers that has 2 top 10s in the first 2 races. He finished 8th and 6th. The other driver being Barry Watson, but his damaged race car might not be able to pull off the same today. Reed currently 4th in points, and this could be a great opportunity for him to maybe pull up in that points lead if the rest of the field in front of him, points-wise, isn't able to finish quite as well. He's only a point behind Adam Kuhn, 2 points behind Mike Simpson, and yeah, he's just doing pretty well for himself right now. We see Essentia going to the point. And the native of Japan is going to be able to make the pass on Lisenby and make a lead lap at his home track, as someone has pulled on the pit lane. I think that was Derek Northrup, who's had some issues so far this race. But a great story, as the number 14 is on the lead. But don't look now, Clint McComb has rocketed up here. We haven't talked about him all day, and he's in a nearly painted scheme. sponsored by the NHL Golden Knights. They've been having a pretty good year so far, and he's going to come down to pit lane with Lisenby, and they're going to make a green flag stop. They haven't pitted so far yet. Oh, and the 79 goes around. Takes a 360, pulls away, but that is going to bring out the caution flag, and the 8 and the 31, they might have just caught a big break as they pulled on the pit lane. Parsons got turned around somewhere, has some damage on his door, but a big break for McComb and Lisenby, who pulled on at the last second just before that caution flag came out, and they are allowed to make their stop. And even better, I think, yeah, the whole field's getting held up by the pace truck rather, and that means they won't go a lap down. I do believe that is going to bring out, well, obviously it's going to mean that we're going to see some yellow flag pit stops now, but the 8 and the 31 should be realistically out in front now. And the rest of the field that hasn't pitted is going to see some action right here. Essentia leads them down as he now has a few laps under his belt, and Recency just behind him. Looks like some trucks did take some service just before the pace truck pulled out, and they're able to get going just before they end up going a lap down. Don't want to get hit by that stop sign at the end of pit lane. The 14 truck pulls in, the 01 just in front of him, and the 69 as well. All three manufacturers are represented in the top 3 spots, and it sounds like most of the field is going to go for 2 tires here. It's a short 30 lapper. 14 truck pulls out, just barely gets away from Ryan Parsons. He might need 4 tires after spinning it around. And Essentia is going to lead them off of pit lane. The 69 just behind him, as well as the 01. Those top 3 spots are going to stay the same. And just a bit of shuffling from 4th on back, but everyone taking 2 tires across the board as they try to stretch their tires for the short amount of laps we have left. But the 8 truck has the advantage as he got in a lap early just before the caution came out. He's going to be the leader when we come back to the green flag. Justin Lisenby and Carter Friesen also going to have that advantage. So let's have a quick look at what put us under caution here. I think Ross Kissman's just on his rear quarter panel, and Josh McCoy, his teammate, underneath him. That's a Parsons teammate, and Kissman gets into him, and McCoy's also going to get involved and has some hood damage, and that's big trouble for both of the Western Motorsport trucks. And that is just the 360. That's all that happened right there was 53 got into the 79 in the corner coming off turn number 4. And we'll see from his rear cam. McCoy's there, and then Kissman tries to slip the gap. But it's going to result in damage for both the 79 and the 34 teammates there. So that's going to put us under a second caution. We will be back with more NFRN action on RVN.
Come on, guys. Yeah. Come on, Tony Stewart. Come on. Confidence.
That was me. Tony Stewart. Before I started using swagger from Old Spice. Now look at me. She's from Russia.
Well, we are with you to the end of this race at Twin Ring Motegi, the 3rd of 8 races in the regular season for the NFRN Truck Series. Another 7 playoff races to follow. And as predicted, the 8 and the 31 trucks are up front after getting the pit service just before the caution came out. And I think they had a little bit of or a couple of friends join them as the 92, the 27 and 19 are all in front of Essentia, who was obviously the first one to come down, as well as Recency. But we're going to hit green flag on lap number 23, which means we have about 8 laps to go in this one. We come with the new sponsorship of the NHL Golden Knights, sponsorship that will last with him throughout the rest of the season. And just like the Golden Knights, they got off to a pretty hot start and still making their way through the NHL playoffs. Maybe in their first race on McComb's truck, he'll be able to get the victory for them. And maybe there's just something about that team that's really spreading a lot of good luck. But he's going to have to hold off Justin Lisenby, who's really hungry for a victory. And I saw the 14 of Essentia pull down on the pit lane. He was running 6th. And disaster for the 14 truck. He's got something wrong, and that is absolutely awful as he led laps this race, trying to get the victory in his home country, and not going to happen as he experiences problems right off the bat. So he's out of contention in this one. The 31 truck is still trying to stalk the 8 and find a place to make a pass, and this is a pretty pass-heavy racetrack, as we've mentioned before. Typically, the best passing zone is down in turns 3 and 4, which is the narrower turn. As they come through 1 and 2, that's a wider turn. And this backstretch is basically kind of pointing just slightly inward toward the front stretch, which is what gives it its unique shape. But in the first few laps of this restart, it's been pretty good for the 8 truck, as he's keeping everyone at bay. Recency is still in contention here, as he's made a couple of passes to make his way up to 3rd, looking for his best career finish. And this is a bit of a contrast to what we've been seeing in these first few laps of the race. They're all running fairly single file, and we expected a little more passing, although the 69 with a great run down to the inside in turns 3 and 4, gets by 31, looking to make a move on the 8 truck, and just got cut off a little bit right there, and he backs off smartly, as it looks like he was about to make a move to pass 2 trucks on the inside in turns 3 and 4. The 8 truck did not let him do it, as 4 laps to go now. Recency up to 2nd place. So that's the passing we've been looking for, but the 8 truck is still maintaining his lead. It's probably as long as we've seen a driver lead so far this race in consecutive laps. You gotta wonder if somehow the tires are playing into this, but obviously the 8 truck should realistically have they would have a lap less fresh tires as the guys that pitted under caution. We see Jeff Capico, he is still really performing well, as he is up to 5th place. The pass on Carter Friesen, and the 92 truck is now on the high outside. I wonder if that tire wear may be playing in effect now, but he is also just caught up on the outside, which is definitely not the preferred line here. Ross Kispin passes Justin Lisenby for 3rd place. Got that position in turns 1 and 2. Now on the back bumper, the 69. Everyone's still chasing the Ramco Motorsport driver of Clint McComb. 2 laps to go as they approach the line. Ross Kispin trying to really improve on his season, as well as Recency, as well as Lisenby. But McComb is also in that same pack of drivers that is pretty far back in standings right now. McComb running 25th right now. And the 8 truck is liking what he sees from his back bumper. It's a little bit of a gap right now, and as long as he can keep that gap there going into these turns, he might have a good shot at getting this victory. 69 wants to be up against him and then make the move to the inside on one of these turns if he's able to get there. But the white flag comes out. They're pretty single file for most of the field back. But the race up here is the one we want to watch. Who is going to take home the victory in 3rd race of the season and clinch a playoff spot? The 0-0 of Derek Northrup off pit lane. He's still on the inside, not going to interfere with these drivers. But Ross Kispin making a move to the inside of the 69 truck. And that is good for McComb, because that's going to be less competition. 69 is not going to be able to bunch up to him and try to make the move. Jeff Calicode inside of Justin Lisenby. The 8 truck pulls down in turns 3 and 4. Kisman's going to make the move on the 69 truck. But coming down to the front stretch and to the start-finish line, Clint McComb is going to take the 3rd race of the season. A big win for that driver, Clint McComb. The first for Ramco Motorsports this season across all 3 series. And he does it with that new sponsorship of the Golden Knights on his hood. That has got to be some good luck charm there. As now he is also going to make his move to the playoffs. Well, that finishes sure to have some shakeup to the point standings, as a lot of the guys that are further back in standings did really well today, and guys that are top in standings far back in the field. A great win for Clint McComb. Ross Kispin passes recency for second. Jeff Capico, 4th place in his debut run. We've seen a lot of great debuts so far this season, but that unsponsored car did great today. And Justin Lisenby rounding out the top 5, a run he really needed. Looking at the second page, you see a lot of drivers that we didn't talk a lot about today, but Ryan Parsons and Keith Young, we know that they got some damage on accidents earlier in the race. They finished 19th and 20th. 21st place belongs to Tyler Reed, who's 4th in standings. And we don't see Barry Watson or Mike Simpson on this list. We do see Adam Kuhn down there in 27th, but I believe Reed will be able to pass him up, and I believe he might be able to take the point standings lead after the other 2 drivers that are top in the standings right now finish down here in the next page, which is 32nd and 36th. Not great runs for either of them after getting some crash damage. And Essentia, the Japan native, a late problem, gets him 37th place. Last car on the lead lap. Adam Lewis, the pole sitter with trouble, gets 40th place in another 2 DNFs as well in that early lap 1 accident. And as we look at the standings, in fact, not only Tyler Reed making a jump, but as well as Kevin Knight. He's up to 2nd place. Adam Kuhn is still in 3rd. Barry Watson slips to 4th place. Mike Simpson down to 7th. And the victory for Clint McComb brings him from 25th to 8th place in the standings. A great day for him, as well as a lot of security to gain that playoff spot. As of right now, Adam Lewis continues to lead the part-timers in standings, even though he did crash out early. But, of course, making 3 starts in 3 races is going to do wonders for your standing. And that's what he's doing right now, as he's been able to compete with a lot of these full-timers as well. But some bad luck today, as he finishes in 40th place. And a bit of people shuffling around here. That is the cutoff spot for qualifying for next week's Amateur Cup Series race at 8 Bull. Jasper Rouse is going to be the last driver in. Jesse McConnor, the first driver out. Ross Kispin was also able to take his 2nd place run to bring him up to 12th place. Justin Lisenby up here in 21st. Recency in 25th. Some solid runs today, bringing those guys to a okay points position, but obviously still searching for some more. Back here further in the standings, Jeff Cabico on pace with Cameron Varga, who also had a brilliant debut at Pikes Peak. He's a point ahead of Carter Thiessen, who also did well at Columbia. And they are all around these guys that are full-timers running really badly, like Jason Langley, who is obviously damaged up when a lap down. Daniel Boyce, we didn't talk about him at all. That was probably because he's pretty far back in the field. He's still in 40th place in points. And back here, there's still guys that haven't even cracked the top 40, which includes Emerson Sims and Essentia with that heartbreaking run. The updated team standings still has Eagle Motorsport out in front. Clint McComb with that great run brings Ramco up to 2nd place, but still just trailing by 4 points. Western Motorsports just behind by 8 points. And we get a look at the drivers running for the next Amateur Cup Series race. Those are the cars that they'll be in. And we do have some newcomers to this as we complete race number 3. Carter Friesen, I believe, hasn't made an attempt this season. He'll be in the 18 car. Ross Kispin's going to be in the 51. Jasper Riles in the 26. I believe those are all the newcomers in trying to attempt for their first career Amateur Cup Series race. Well, some exciting action here at Twin Ring Motegi leads to the victory of a Ramco Motorsport driver in Clint McComb. That's going to be it for coverage of Twin Ring Motegi. Fortunately, the wait for the next truck race won't be as long as this one. After 8 Bull, we'll be at Trenton, and then we'll also see the Open Modified Series restart for the part-time truck drivers to compete in. Thank you all for tuning in for coverage of the NFRN Truck Series. My name is Colin Denton for NFRN and RVN. We hope you enjoyed today's race, and we'll see you next time.